Have you ever noticed how the smallest problems in life, if left ignored, often grow into the biggest disasters? A dripping tap that floods the house, a small lie that destroys a relationship, a missed deadline that ruins an entire career. Today, I'll tell you the story of a farmer, a fence, and a mistake so small yet so costly, it changed his life forever. There was once a farmer named Raghav. He lived in a small village surrounded by green fields, tall trees, and the sound of goats bleating every morning. Raghav owned a dozen goats, his only source of food, milk, and income. People in the village admired him. "Raghav, you are lucky," his neighbor would often say. "You have strong goats and fertile land. You will never know hunger." But Raghav had a weakness. He was lazy. One evening, while walking around his land, he noticed a small crack in his wooden fence. Just a tiny gap wide enough for a goat to push its head through. His wife pointed at it and said, "Raghav, you should fix this before the goats slip out." Raghav yawned and laughed. "Oh, it's just a small gap. Nothing will happen. I'll fix it tomorrow or maybe the day after." Tomorrow never came. A few days later, the gap grew wider. A plank loosened. When the goats walked by, they would poke their heads through curiously. A friend visiting said, "Brother, if you don't fix this, one day all your goats will be gone." But Raghav shrugged. Why worry about something so small? I have more important things to do. Instead of fixing the fence, he spent his afternoons sleeping under a tree, chewing on sugar cane, or gossiping in the village square. Every day the fence grew weaker, and every day Raghav told himself the same lie. It's too small to matter. Then came a stormy night. The wind howled, the rain poured, and the goats shivered in their pen. The weak fence could not hold any longer. With one push, one goat slipped out, then another, and another. By morning, the pen was empty. Raghav woke up, stretched his arms, and went outside for his morning milk. He stopped. His heart froze. The pen was silent. The goats were gone. He ran across the field, shouting, "Lali! Shambhu! Moti!" The goats' names. But there was no reply. The broken fence stood there, mocking him, a small crack that had now become a gaping hole. In the days that followed, Raghav's life turned upside down. Without his goats, he had no milk. Without milk, he had no income. Without income, he could not buy seeds for his crops. The same neighbors who once praised him now whispered behind his back. Raghav was careless. He ruined his own fortune. Hungry and broken, Raghav finally sat near the broken fence, his head in his hands, and whispered, "If only I had fixed it when it was small." Weeks later, an old wise man from the village approached him. He looked at the broken fence and said, "Raghav, do you know what destroyed you?" Raghav replied, "Yes, my goats ran away." The old man shook his head. Your goats didn't destroy you. Your attitude did. You thought small problems don't matter. But remember this for the rest of your life: small problems ignored become big disasters. Raghav lowered his head in shame. That night he could not sleep. His mind replayed every warning, every moment he could have acted, but didn't. And for the first time in his life, he made a promise. Never again will I ignore the small cracks in my life. Months later, with hard work and help from the villagers, Raghav slowly bought new goats, rebuilt his farm, and this time he never ignored the fence. Every morning before eating, before resting, before anything, he would check for cracks, loose planks, or weak spots. When asked why he was so careful now, he would smile and say, "Because I learned the hardest way, it's the little things that protect the big things." My friend, The story of Raghav is not just about a farmer or a fence. It's about you and me. We all have broken fences in our lives. A small lie we keep telling. A habit we know is harmful, but ignore. A health warning we choose to neglect. A relationship we don't repair. At first it feels too small to matter, but one day it costs us everything. Remember this: success doesn't collapse in one big blow. It falls apart slowly through small cracks we never bothered to fix. So ask yourself today, where is the broken fence in your life? What is the small problem you are ignoring? Because if you don't fix it now, one day, when it's too late, you'll look back and say the same words Raghav said. If only I had fixed it when it was small. Don't wait for your goats to run away. Don't wait for disaster to teach you the lesson. Take responsibility today. Fix the fence. Repair the habit. Heal the relationship. Work on the weakness. Because life rewards those who act on the small problems before they grow into storms. And if you remember only one thing from this story, let it be this: great lives are built by fixing small cracks before they become big breaks.